Episode 4. The Healer's Wisdom. Elara and Elias entered Lyra's cabin. The warmth and earthy scent of herbs enveloped them as they stepped inside. Lyra motioned for them to sit at a rustic wooden table, adorned with various vials and dried plants. She offered them steaming cups of herbal tea, which they accepted gratefully. "Elias, it's been too long," Lyra said, her voice filled with warmth. She turned to Elara with a knowing smile. "And you must be Mabel's granddaughter. Your grandmother spoke of you often. She knew you had the strength for this journey." Elara felt a pang of sorrow and pride at Lyra's words. "I'm here to honor her legacy and to protect Evershade. We need to reunite the Order and gather the artifacts to stop the Whispering Shadow." Lyra nodded solemnly. "The shadow has grown bolder. I've sensed its presence encroaching on the town. We must act quickly." Elias pulled out the map and laid it on the table. "We need your knowledge, Lyra. You are the best healer in the Order, and your abilities will be crucial in the coming battles. We also need to find Alistair, the scholar." Lyra studied the map, her brow furrowing. "Alistair resides in the old monastery on the hill. It's a place of ancient knowledge and power, but also danger. The shadow has been particularly active in that area." Elara felt a surge of determination. "Then we'll go to the monastery next. We need Alistair's knowledge and the artifacts he guards." Lyra nodded, a glint of determination in her eyes. "I will join you, but first, we must prepare. The journey to the monastery is perilous, and we need to be ready for whatever we might encounter." Over the next few hours, Lyra prepared potions and salves, explaining their uses to Elara and Elias. She showed Elara how to recognize certain herbs that could be useful in healing and protection. As they worked, Lyra shared stories of her time in the Order, painting a picture of the camaraderie and bravery that had once defined them. As the sun began to set, they packed their supplies and set out towards the monastery. The path was steep and winding, and the air grew colder as they ascended. Shadows lengthened, and the forest around them seemed to grow darker and more foreboding. After several hours of trekking, they reached the base of the hill where the monastery stood. The structure loomed above them, its stone walls weathered by time and partially covered in ivy. The moon cast an eerie glow, illuminating the path that led to the entrance. "We need to be careful," Elias warned. "The shadow's influence is strong here. Stay close and be ready for anything." They moved cautiously up the hill, the silence oppressive and the air thick with a sense of foreboding. As they approached the entrance, Elara noticed movement in the shadows. Her heart raced as she strained to see what lurked in the darkness. Suddenly, a figure stepped out from the shadows. It was a tall, cloaked man with piercing eyes and an aura of quiet authority. He looked at them with a mixture of surprise and relief. "Elias, Lyra," the man said, his voice deep and resonant. "You've come. And you must be Elara. I've been expecting you." "Elara, this is Alistair," Elias introduced. "He is the keeper of the monastery and the last scholar of the Order." Alistair nodded. "I've sensed the shadow's growing power. It seeks to corrupt this place and the knowledge within. We must act swiftly to prevent it." They entered the monastery, its interior filled with ancient tomes and artifacts. Alistair led them to a large chamber where a massive stone table stood, covered in maps and scrolls. "The artifacts you seek are here," Alistair said, gesturing to a collection of items laid out on the table. "But we must be cautious. The shadow will not let us take them without a fight." As they prepared to gather the artifacts, a chill swept through the room, and the shadows seemed to come alive. The Whispering Shadow had found them, and it was ready to strike. Elara, Elias, Lyra, and Alistair stood together, their resolve unwavering. The battle for Evershade was about to begin, and they would face it united, armed with the knowledge and power of the Order. To be continued.